begin our finale for the pop-up, which is yoga is whatever you need. So we're starting in Shavasana. If you want to take another position, it's only for a couple of minutes. So find yourself on the floor in a position that you feel comfortable in. But Shavasana is a nice way to start. And once you get down to the floor, spread your vertebrae out as much as you can. So pull your, as if you're pulling your tailbone away from your crown. Really reach up through your spine. Feel some space in between your vertebrae. And then let everything just sink and support itself back onto the floor. And make sure your shoulders feel nice and attached to the floor. So rock them around a little bit, tuck them under them maybe if you can, just to open up your collarbones. Let your feet just soften wherever they happen to be. You might have decided to take feet on the floor, knees together. You might not want to stretch your legs away today. But just feel the whole of you being supported by the earth below. Be grounded. That's the last class, was grounding. So be grounded. Feel that something has got you. And then take your attention to your feet. And from there, we're just going to slowly come up through our physical body. Eyes closed, just drawing your inner vision through from your feet through to your ankles. Maybe they have a sense that they need to move. So if any part of you that I name needs to move, then just have a little roll round or a little wiggle of whatever part it is. It's usually a joint or a limb. And then come up through from your ankles, through your calves and your shins, through to your knees. Sort of soft bend in your knees, not too heavy, so that the back of the knees don't feel forced open. And then coming up through your thighs, through the front of the thigh and the back of the thigh, along the long bones, deep inside the muscles, up to your torso and the beginning of your core. At the bottom of your core, you've got your lower stomach muscles in the front of your body, hopefully softening, drawing back downwards towards your spine. Just let go of any tension you feel anywhere that I name. Go to the back of your hips here and soften there. If you feel that you're squeezing your glutes at all, see if you can just let go a little bit more. And then coming up through your torso, through to your ribs. Notice if they're flaring, if you've gone into a slight back bend. See if you can just attach the back of your spine a little bit more to the floor and soften the ribs on the front of your body. And then come to your collarbones and your shoulder area. See if you can just take one shoulder and widen it slightly away from your spine. So just lift it and move it slightly away and feel a little bit more space there along the collarbone area, along the front of your chest. And then go down to your hands and watch what they are doing. Are they trying to be active or are they tensing and holding? Have a little wiggle through your fingers and then let them release back to where they're comfortable. Coming up through your forearms and your elbows and your upper arms, feeling the weight maybe of the back of your upper arms on the floor. And then extending through your cervical spine, your neck, by just gently lifting your head, tucking your chin and extending through the back of your neck so that you now feel your spine is as tall as you can make it without really forcing anything. And then just take a breath in. And as you exhale, exhale through your mouth and sigh everything back into the floor one more time. And then just quickly ask yourself a question. Having gone over your physical body, taking that into account and your mental body, if you want to call it that, what do you feel you need right now? What do you need now? What can yoga bring you now? one word sprung to mind, it might be patience, it might be lightness, it might be balance in a general term as well as a physical term. It might be contentment, calmness, it might be energy. One word may have sprung to your mind there. Think about that again. What do you need right now? And make this your sankalpa for this class. So sankalpa means a vow to yourself. So promise yourself that you'll try and find this. You may not find it, you may find something else. But take that one word and say, I need whatever it is, patience or whatever, now. As if it's almost a demand. And say it 3 times to yourself as you breathe in for 4. And as you exhale, say the sankalpa in your head or out loud to yourself. Do that 2 more times, inhaling and exhaling as you say the sankalpa. So the sankalpa is, these are over about 1500 years old at least. We've seen these words being used in something called the Rig Veda. So it's a long cherished thing to make a vow to yourself when you're doing something. Okay, let go of the breath and we're going to just start to move gently. So before you do, have a wriggle of fingers, a wriggle of toes, just maybe move your head gently from side to side. Start to tell your body you're about to move. And then take a full body stretch. And if you feel you want to, take a side body stretch in the right and left as well. Otherwise, just a nice full body stretch and then gathering everything in towards the centre. And then sweep the arms back down by your side. Bring your right leg into your chest and then your left leg in. We take it one at a time, remember, so that our SI joints don't get a bit of a shock with the movement and the weight. And then once you've got your knees bent into Apanasana here, just gently put your hands behind your thighs or on your shins, not on your knees, but on your shins or your thighs, and just gently squeeze the thighs towards you so that you open up a little bit through the back of the body, and then release. So bring in the breath to do that. So we're inhaling, and then as we exhale, we're drawing the legs in towards us. Take a couple of those on the breath, just gently mobilizing the lower back here. So round the back of the glutes. Don't pull too hard, don't force anything. And then either keep going with that, or if you feel you're able to do this, tuck your chin and on the next squeeze, lift your head up gently to meet it in hedgehog. So you breathe in, you breathe out as you squeeze and you lift and use your core muscles to draw up into a little hedgehog ball. And then hold there if you're in this position and breathe. If you're in Apanasana only, then just continue squeezing and letting go. So those that are up in hedgehog, see if you can release your shoulders as you stay here. And then release on the next exhale, everybody back down to the floor. Pop the feet on the floor, take them to the width of the mat. Take a gentle windscreen wiper movement through your hips and thighs. So just gently, not too far, not swishing over too far. Take a few more of those, just again mobilizing the hips. Maybe you can start to go a little bit further and feel the mobility coming up through your lower abdomen area, maybe even up to your waist as you go a little bit more fluid with this movement. And then come to a standstill in neutral. Forgotten what I was going to do there now. Okay, we're going to take, what was my next one? We're going to take, I've forgotten where I was, hold on, sorry. Okay, so we're taking half Jatara Pavriti, that's right. So lengthen out your left leg. I think I need memory, that's what I need this morning. Bring your right knee in again into half Apanasana. Pop your left hand on it. Pop your right hand out to the side, palm down on the floor. Draw in your tummy. Try and hold that heaviness in your left hip, particularly here. And then just gently breathe in. And as you exhale, roll over onto the side of your left hip, taking your right knee with you. Now, you don't need to reach the floor. If you need a little bit of support, swap your left hand under the right leg so that you've just got a bit of support there for the weight of it. You don't need to roll right over and stack your hips. If you can and you're comfortable doing so and you've got the mobility already, then do so. But otherwise, just start where you're comfortable and let the leg dangle. If you can reach the floor with the foot, do so. If you want to let the foot rest on the other leg, do so. What we're really looking at here is opening up that IT band on your right side and a little bit of a twist through your waist and your stomach area just to get everything moving in there. And then we'll just slowly inhale and roll over as you exhale back onto your back, helping yourself over using your left hand. Take your right foot down, have a stretch away. We're going to the other side on the twist. Bringing the left leg in. Don't force yourself with any of these because there's no competition here. It's not a challenge. When you're ready, inhale, exhale over towards your right, onto your right hip. Keep your shoulders on the floor if you can. That's more important than getting your left leg over. Balance the leg wherever it's comfortable. Foot on top of the other leg might give you a little bit more stability and a little bit more support. So we're doing this gently. It's not because we're elderly, it's because or unfit. It's because your body's just wakened up and it's not ready to go fully into some of these poses. So we're not trying to get major stretches here. We're just wakening the body up a little bit. Okay, so then gently rolling back on the exhale, back onto the floor and releasing that foot to the floor. Taking the heels then closer to you, we're going to just take a couple of bridge rolls here. So find your pelvic tilt. When you're ready, inhaling, press into the feet, moving the shins away from you towards the wall and squeezing your glutes just gently up into your first bridge. Don't go too far. And then rolling down as you exhale, finding the vertebrae like a string of pearls. Remember, we're taking them down slowly onto the floor. And then finding the next inhale when you're ready, coming back up again. We're taking 2 more of these on your own time. So if you want a break in between, please do. If you want to take a little bit further and take your arms with you, please do. But do listen to your body and not your mind challenging you. Take it easy. Take what you need, what you really need, not what your mind's trying to say you need. Might not always be right, that mind. Rolling back down. Take another full body stretch. Have a little stretch out. And then rolling onto your side, come up to tabletop. And then sit back into Balasana, into child's pose. So head won't maybe reach the floor right down. We're taking twisted side bend in Balasana. So walking over to the right, first of all, and allowing yourself to just find some space on the left-hand side there. Head can be off the floor. It can take, again, you can rest it on your arm if it's more comfortable here. Bring an arm in a little bit. Rest your head rather than put any strain through your neck. If your head's on the floor, then that's fine. But if your body's not quite wakened and ready for that, do not force it, please, even though you know you can normally do it. The thing here is to try and remember to let that back hip, your left hip, if you've gone to the right, really feel heavy. And see if you can then find the stretch in the lower back area and down through the QL muscle, the lat muscles, etc. And the back of your body are really strong. So that's what we're thinking of here. Not getting the neck overly stretched. Okay, walking back to centre and then coming to the other side. So finding your breath this time a little bit more. Stack yourself, find your hips heavy. Support your head if you need to. Let your belly just soften onto your thighs. Breathe, find your breath. Inhale, exhale a few times, nice and strong and long and deep. Into your ribs, moving the ribs in the back of your body. And then walking back to centre. Take a little moment there if you need to in child's pose, or otherwise come straight up into all fours and find your position, hands facing forwards, fingers nice and lifted, but the palm really attached to the ground here. Wrists, elbows, shoulders stacked, knees, hips stacked, feet going straight back behind you. Take a couple of cat-cows when you're ready and feel in position. So inhaling in neutral, exhaling into cat. Really lifting up using your knees and your feet and your hands to propel you upwards, then moving forward from the tailbone on the inhale into cow, stretching out the front body, really releasing through the heart there. Take a couple more. This is always a great one. We should do this in every class, really. It's a really great mobilizer, cat-cow. Okay, when you've done your next cow, come back to neutral spine. Take your attention down to your hips and start your focus and start to rotate your hips. So just imagine you had a pencil on your belly and you were drawing a circle underneath you. So it's really just your hips we're thinking of moving. Everything will move a little bit because we're all attached. We can't just move one little part of our body always. So moving the hips one way, then the other way in a circle. Big or as little as you want. Notice then, the bigger you go, more things start to move with you. And then come back to neutral. Take your focus now to your shoulders and use your hands here to start to rotate at the upper half of your body. So your shoulders are making a circle. So if that pencil had moved up to your chest and was drawing a circle, a little bit stronger through your hands. Anybody that finds this very strong in the wrists, try going up onto your knuckles, onto your fisting your hand and going up onto the ball of your hand then. That sometimes stops you having any discomfort in your wrist. Your wrist will strengthen the more you do this. If you haven't already, go in the other way, go in the other direction for that circle. And then come back to neutral. Anybody that needs to just shake your hands out at any point here, we're on the wrist for another couple of movements. So we're going to take the left leg back, right leg back on the floor onto the ball of the foot. The left hand, forward, so we're diagonal here. If you're comfortable doing so, we're going to lift it. If not, you're just going to stretch here. So as you inhale, if you want to lift with me, lift both limbs or one limb, maybe you could try. And exhale them back down. So we're taking 3 more of those. Inhale up. Exhale down. Only as far as you want to go, only as many limbs as you want to take up. I would suggest 2 is probably the ultimate. I wouldn't go for 3. And then lower those back down. We're moving to the other side. So taking the weight on the opposite arm and leg, moving the arm and leg forward first of all, extending first of all, and then finding that lift. As you inhale, we're lifting. As we open the body, we lift. As we close the body, we lower. As we open the body, we breathe in, sorry. As we close the body, we exhale. And then bring the hands back and the knees back to neutral. Sink back, take a second in child's pose. Just have an extended child's pose. Really stretch out through your shoulders and upper back there if you can. And then bring yourself back up to all fours. We're going to take thread the needle, but we're not going to stay down today. We're just going to take 3 lifts and threading the needle through. So if, like me, you're near a wall, make sure you've got enough room. So we're in tabletop. Keeping everything to start with, we're going to inhale and lift the right arm up and open, just as far as you're comfortable. You may get better by the time you've done the third one, or not better, but more open. Come down, but don't quite take to the floor, and inhale yourself back up again. So it's a fluid movement, just threading the needle, not quite reaching the shoulder right down, a little bit more active than we normally are. Opening up. One more. And hand comes back down, taking the other side now. So start yourself, have a rest if you need to, otherwise inhale the left arm up, exhale, thread the needle, inhale up. So a little bit of strength work here for the upper body. You can do more than 3 if you want to do this and get a little bit more strength work, but today we've only got time for 3. Okay, we stop at 3 in that one. And then we're going to take hip circles. So still in that all fours position, lift your right leg outwards so that you come out in the same position it was in on the floor. It's like a dog leg. And then we're just taking a little circle in whichever direction you want to go, as if you had a pencil on your kneecap this time and you're drawing a little circle. So little hip circles in one direction and then in the other. Just thinking of where the weight can be taken here. So the support should come from your core and your hip joint. So if you move your focus to there, maybe you won't feel your leg quite so heavy. And then pop that leg back down. Take the other one out and do the same thing on the other side. So see where you can focus on that makes it more easeful, this movement. My circles are a bit more cranky on this side, I notice. So just noticing little bits that are not quite symmetrical in your body. And then pop the knee back down, take the big toes together, sit back for a second in wide leg child's pose. I think I forgot to put my teeth in this morning. Head come to the floor or maybe on top of your hands and crossed in front of you if it's not quite making it. And sometimes what's nice here is to take your elbows just a little bit wider so that you get a little bit more space across the back of your shoulders here and really sink down into the floor through your third eye. But just watch that you're not tipping your bottom up doing that way. You want to keep your bottom heavy onto your legs. And then find your breath. 2 more breaths. Inhaling, exhaling. Finding the depth of the breath right down through the diaphragm. Spreading the back of your body as you do that. Having a little bit more space in wide leg child's pose to spread through your belly and the front of your body too in the breath. And then come back. I'm coming back to broken toe. If anybody's not comfortable with that, then please just kneel. We'll just take a couple of breaths here. So otherwise, tuck your toes and sit back onto your heels. So you're kneeling, otherwise if it's too uncomfortable to come up on your toes. If you're up on your toes, just make sure your baby toes tucked under properly. And then we're just going to either hands at Anjali Mudra or just on your thighs or in a chin mudra maybe. Let's just take 2 or 3 breaths here, slowing down for a second before we move again. So inhaling, rising up from the sit bones as you inhale, exhaling, softening, focusing on the breath, though the feet may be starting to tell your story as well, but try and focus on your breath for 3 more breaths. Really think of what the breath's doing, where it's going, how deep it is. If it feels nice and slow and even. If you can feel that calming sensation of it pouring over you. The breath is one of our best tools for that, remember. Okay, so releasing from broken toe, put your hands to the floor and roll onto your balls of your feet. And then we're going to come into a soft forward fold, but just gently putting the heels to the floor. Really soft. Although we've done a bit of hip work, you won't be open on the back of your body particularly, so be gentle with yourself, don't force it. And then slowly rolling up when you're ready. So looking along the floor, taking your time, rolling up to standing, opening the body and coming back up to Tadasana. Move away from the wall. I've got to watch you and I've got a light above my head. Okay, we're going to take skier. So that'll just waken us up before we take sun salutation. So skier, I'm not quite sure I made this name up. I don't know if it is a real one. So skier is when we take our hands up in front of us and then just roll through. So you don't need to straighten the legs here. You can stay down a little bit, but it's just putting a little bit of movement through your feet, hands parallel in front of you, so it's shoulder distance apart. So when you're ready, we'll take 3 of those and see how that goes. Inhaling, take the arms up above the head. Exhaling, softly skiing down, taking the hands up just as far as you're comfortable behind you and back up to the top. So you're exhaling as you go down, inhaling as you come up. Feet can be together or hip distance apart, depends on your preferred ski stance. I notice I put mine together, which is a bit odd. Okay, after that third one, take the hands down, have a little shake out. Step the feet slightly wider now, and we're going to take the bowling ball effect here. So that now we're taking the hands through the legs. So inhaling the arms up, exhaling, rolling, taking that bowling ball through and back up. 2 more of those. So you have to have your legs wide enough to get that bowling ball through. Doesn't matter if it just goes down to the floor. Just a little movement to warm our hips up here and our shoulders. Bring the arms back down to the side. And then either move your feet back or keep your feet wide and take skier 1 more time for 3 goes. So inhaling up. I might be going a bit fast for you guys. Breathe at your own speed. Exhaling down. The point is to use the breath actually to take you slowly through these movements. I'm talking through them, so I'm not actually thinking too much of my speed of my breath, so I should have been going a bit slower there. So now the arms are going out. If this is bird you're going into here, take 2 more of those. So I've got my legs wider, my hands are coming outside of my legs this time. They're going right up behind me like my wings, as if like a chicken or something's pecking at the floor. Back up to the top. And exhale the arms down. Just take a breather there. Hopefully nobody's got a head rush, but if you ever feel, because we're having had breakfast, if you ever feel a bit dizzy doing those things, please just stop and come to standing. So take a breather, everybody, and now we're going to do sun salutation. Now that we've warmed up, get some movement into our bodies. So sun salutation, we'll take the easy version first of all, everybody, which is plank on our knees, and if you want to, you can take tabletop and rock back to go into low lunge. If you don't, you want to do it through down dog, then please take that version. But the first time with plank, let's all go onto our knees. Okay, so standing at the front of the mat, into Tadasana, feet hip distance apart. Feeling that connection, have a rock through your feet, feel that connection to the floor. And then we're going to be ready to go. So we're going to inhale, sweep the arms up above our head. Exhale, soften, forward fold in your time. Soft knees still. Inhale, we're taking ourselves into half forward fold. So reaching out into that hang the man shape. And then exhaling back down into forward fold, hands to the side of the feet and step back with your right foot as you inhale. Exhale that knee down wherever you're comfortable. Inhale, we're going to take the arms up to either just Anjali Mudra or above your head so that you're extending the spine here. Don't worry too much about the arms. Take the arms back down. We're stepping back with the front foot and we're coming into plank here. So soften your knees down to the floor and then gently lower yourself down, heart forward to come down to ready for cobra. So inhaling baby cobra, exhaling lowering. Tucking the toes, we're coming up to down dog or tabletop, ready for your other side of your low lunge. So we're stepping forward with the right foot. So the back leg goes up. We step forward to low lunge, right foot forward, back knee goes down. When you're ready, inhaling arms up above the head. Exhaling the arms back down. Step the back foot forward, back into forward fold. And inhale gently and slowly, looking along the floor. Back up, hands above the head, Utthita Tadasana, and then bring it down through heart center and rest in Tadasana. Okay, let's take that on the other side. If you want to stay with half plank, please do. If you want to go full plank this time, please do. Okay, so when you're ready, inhaling, arms up above the head, exhaling, sweeping down into forward fold. Inhaling into half fold, so reaching out from crown to tailbone, opening the legs, exhaling, down into forward fold. Stepping back with the left foot this time, coming down into your low lunge. Hands above the head as we extend to heart center. Extending through the spine there though. All of us, hands back down. Stepping back into plank or half plank. When you're ready, inhaling as you exhale, lowering down through crocodile if you're in full plank. Into cobra when you're ready, you inhale. Exhale back down. Tucking the toes into down dog or tabletop when you're ready. Lifting the left leg if you're in down dog, rocking back and putting the left leg forward, everyone, into low lunge. Inhaling, arms up above the head, reaching, exhaling, hands come down, stepping the back foot forward into our forward fold one more time. And when you're ready, sweeping up on an inhale, hands above the head, down through heart center, and back to Tadasana. Take a little breath there. I must remember not to do this beside a radiator. Okay, so let's grab our straps, everybody, now, if you've got them. So, this I've written beside my stickman. Yoga is fun. Yoga can be fun. It's not always about moving. It's not always about being, it is about being present, but it doesn't need to be a serious thing, yoga. So let's try, in that case, a bit of wobbling balance. Caroline wanted a balance. You've got one, Caroline. Okay, so standing in your left leg, I'm going to bring the right knee up and just have a little squeeze in Hapapanasana standing here. So if you feel you're up to it, take the arm up as well for the balance. And if you're feeling that's not really challenging you, then close your eyes. But everybody find a drishti point. So closing your eyes just gives you that bit more wobble if you're finding this easy. But in doing that, think more of drawing your elbow in towards your ear a little bit more and extending that upper arm if you can, if you're finding things easy. Move down to your standing foot, wriggle your toes. Draw that thigh into your chest a little bit more, but draw your chest up and your crown up and find your long front body. And then release. We'll need the strap in a minute, so keep a hold of it. Same thing other side, just let's practice the balance on the other side. So moving into your right foot, you can start with your eyes closed if you find this really dead easy, but if not, find a chair or a wall if you're finding it a little bit harder. Bringing your left leg up. Don't let go of your alignment just so that you can close your eyes. Inhale, take the other arm up if you feel you want to, or it can be out to the side, or it can be in your waist, or it can be wrapped around the other leg if you want to. Play around with the balance. Maybe if you've got your arm up, now you can cross it over to put it on the other hand and draw that knee across. Just play around. The balance is through your standing foot, so we're just practicing getting that balance through the foot, because now we're going to need it. We're going to do big toe pose. If you can do this without the strap, then fine. If you want to use the strap, it just is an extension of your arm and makes it a little bit easier. We're finding a loop in the strap. You don't need to loop it through the D-ring. Just have a loop that you can put your foot through. So the strap's in the same hand as your foot. And then you're bringing it up like we just did. And all you're doing is flexing that foot that's in the strap and moving the heel outwards to wherever you're comfortable. It might be down here. You might can get it out straight from your hip. So drawing it in front of us, this is where I show my dirty feet. So when I'm doing this, I can feel myself starting to lean back. I want to draw my body up, draw my crown up, and make sure I'm a nice long front here. I'm not leaning backwards into back bend. Okay, so walk your hand along the strap, everybody that's got the strap there. Get a little bit closer to your foot, see if you can pull it a little bit higher. Lift it a little bit higher. And then the hand can either be on your waist, on a chair, on the wall, or it can be out to the side, or it can be above, as we had it a minute ago. And then if you're finding this easy, I wouldn't say close your eyes particularly. Maybe you can let that foot just drift out to the side. And then bring the foot back in. And drop the foot gently down to the floor. Now, some of you can do that with your fingers round your big toe. You might want to try that after class, just popping your toe round and seeing how far you get doing it that way. But we'll do it with a strap today, just because it's a little bit easier. Let's put the strap on the other foot, see if it's the same on this side. So moving into the standing leg, first of all, remember that hip gets drawn back into your centre line here for balance. So you've got a nice steady column on that side to lift that foot. Moving the heel out. Maybe walking your hand up, whoops, up the strap, not as steady on this side. Think of the body, think of raising up through your tummy, through your chest. Taking the arm to wherever you want to put it, maybe up above your head again. And then seeing if you feel strong enough, if you can move that leg out and play with it. Whoops, I can't. Wobbling's good. This is what I'm saying about fun. Everybody gets so caught up with having to do these poses in the correct way. Alignment's really important, but what you're doing here is really good for your mind and body. It's all about playing with the poses, finding your connection to them and enjoying what you're doing. Okay, we need the strap again in a second. We're going to take a roll down and finish on the floor. So rolling down in your own way, take your time, come back down to the floor, take your strap with you. We'll use it just to have a bit of a stretch out and show that we can do big toe lying down as well. Okay, so find yourself back down gently on your back on the mat. Now, do the same thing again. Bring your right leg into half Apanasana and wrap your strap around it, around the foot rather. So around the ball of the foot. So you're already ready to go. Other leg can be folded. It's just your supporting leg. So it can be folded, it can be straight. If it's straight, it's a little bit stronger on your hip flexor there, which is maybe what you want. Listen to what you need. Okay, and then we're just going to stretch that heel away with the foot flexed up towards the ceiling. Knee can stay soft though, you don't need to crunch the knee into full flexion. So really think about being gentle in that knee, but flexing the foot and pressing gently up through the heel. So you should get a nice extension through your hamstring and you're in big toe lying down. See if you're doing this, if you can just gently move your thigh, your upper thigh slightly away from your tummy. So you feel it's maybe a little bit more stacked, heel over knee over hip. It's not about drawing it in here. And then just draw that gently over your body, but without letting the hip come off the floor. So it's a movement of a couple of inches here. Just extending through the outside leg. And then bring it back, and if you've got space, which I haven't, allow that leg maybe just to fall out and extend a little bit through your inner thigh for a second or so. And then bring the foot back in, just playing with the strap here. We've not got time to really rest in these, it's just opening up a little bit more through the legs. Since they're a bit warmer now. Take it onto the other foot, flex that foot, find the extension. Find that little space if you can between your thigh and your belly. Have a little wriggle of your toes while they're up there. Then maybe just fold your foot slightly over your body so your leg has come across your other leg very slightly, a couple of inches, just until you feel that IT band down the outside of your left leg starting to fire up. Nice stretch. You don't often, they're hard to stretch your IT band down the outside of thighs. So this is quite a nice one to remember. You can do it without the strap as well, obviously. And then we're taking the leg out and just carefully holding it without extending too far to the side. So the hips should still both feel heavy on the floor. You shouldn't feel as if you've rocked off your right hip here. Your left leg's extended. And you're just getting a bit of an opening in the inner thigh. And then bringing that foot back up, softening the knee to take the strap off, And stretching the leg away from you. And we're back into Shavasana. So if you feel you want a little stretch before that, we'll just take a couple of minutes in our last Shavasana here of the pop-up. And as I said in my email, dear old Peggy, this was her favourite pose and she said we should always do it. We never really have time for it in a 45-minute class, but this is our finale Shavasana for Peggy. So let's all just soften into the mat for a couple of breaths. Let ourselves take that time. Have a quick body scan. Run your mind's eye again over your body from foot to head as we did at the beginning without me saying it. Just check out what's happened, if there's any changes from when you lay down at the beginning of class. And then ask yourself the question, what has yoga brought you today? Maybe not what you thought you wanted or needed in that sankalpa at the very beginning. We don't always manifest what we really think we need. It may not be what we need, but hopefully something has come from class that you feel is worthwhile and it has benefited you. So we've done lots of things in this pop-up, all the different aspects of yoga, not all the different aspects, some aspects of yoga, grounding, energy cleansing, looking at things from different angles, moving meditations. Yoga is such a broad subject matter and it spans every aspect of our existence, really. And in doing so, it tries to promote our individual social health and our well-being. So we can take something from every class. And friendship's what we can take from our classes, I think, is one of the most important things I get from it. So yoga's not all about moving or lining up or breathing necessarily. There's so much more to it. It's a way of life. So just to finish, I'm going to read that little poem that Peggy liked my poems. So I'm going to read you that poem that we had at one of the classes earlier this month, which is a poem for Shavasana. Accept the support. Connect to the earth below you. Breathe in deeply and breathe out slowly. Draw down into your roots. Feel the soles of your feet widening. Feel your soul opening. Breathe in good energy and breathe out the stale. Ancient memories, new beginnings, here in your spot on the map of life. Breathe in the present and breathe out the past. Let go of your expectations, but hold on to your positivity. Breathe in contentment. Breathe out all that weighs you down. Trust you are where you are supposed to be, safely anchored in this place and moment. Energies balanced, spirit lifted, body released, mind settled. Breathe in what you need now and sigh out what you never will. So for those of us that have to move, take your time, no rush, but start to bring your body back to being ready to move up to seated. Have a wriggle, a wiggle, a jiggle, a rock and roll. Take your time. Those that can stay in Shavasana, always do, please. Otherwise, those that are finishing class with me, thank you so much again. You don't need to be up and seated for. Take your time, come up slowly. Thank you so much again for being with me through this pop-up. We have ended up giving over £250 to the Impact Foundation in this pop-up. So that's really wonderful news for them too. But it's also been our yoga again for others. So that's a really proud thing to do. You should be very, very proud of yourself that you take part in that. I know you all do it selflessly anyway, and pride doesn't come into it, but it's a good thing. So thank you everybody for joining me again. Hopefully it won't be too long before we're back in the mat once I look at my diary. And in the meantime, take care of yourselves and keep coming to the mat. Thank you everybody. Namaste.